A huge crack was seen in Africa. Is it crack Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania? Video footage and drones seen in it was seen in the shots that the entire a huge crack divided the countries. This crack has made me not see the road crops, houses, cities. Some parts of it are up to 10 meters wide and some 2 millimeters. The thinner the clay, the more people spread it started filling from then somewhere above it. People started building temporary bridge. I thought that maybe the soft soil was for some reason. As soon as we hear the name of the continent, it comes to our mind it will be the hottest continent. But this is not the location. Meaning of Africa lies exactly in the center. Prime, where the lines of meridian and equator meet me in the exact same place. African, the continent exists now because the equator. This is why it is closer to the sun. Africa is the hottest continent. But if we talk about highest temperature, so that was recorded in the USA. Africa is a hot continent, but this does not mean that winter in Africa -23 does not fall here at the peak of Ifan has been recorded. If we talk about colors, then African, the continent presents a unique scene here too, not only in color, but in every aspect. On one hand, Africa is quite extreme, and on the other hand, his light temperament is also present. For example, also the 10 poorest countries in the world exist only in Africa, and these Africa is the poorest in the world. Because of this is called a continent. But in Africa is where the world's most precious minerals are found. In Africa, which is the poorest continent in the world. Here the capital lid will of the embezzlement, the world's most expensive car in the year 2000, the city was declared Paris, New York, and to hear all this is more expensive than Singapore, it sounds quite strange. But Africa, Somalia's capital Mogadishu in the world, is considered the most dangerous city of Africa. The total population of is 1.5 billion, but unfortunately the population here is 40% illiterate. That means they neither know how to read nor write. But on the other side, the world's oldest university, also found in West Africa, goes to the owner's city Timbuktu. This university was built 800 to 900 years ago, and it has 25,000 students on its shoulders. While studying at that time, the total here, the population itself, was 1 lakh. It is surprising the highest twin birth rate in the world, found only in Africa. Here, 1,050 of these births are of twin babies. This is more than the international twin birth ratio. There is more, but till now science is not clear about this. I wonder why this happens only in Africa. On the other hand, everyone born here home after birth of 1 child and 14 child dies before arriving. This mortality ratio is also the highest in the world. East is found mostly in Africa, only Kenya in Africa. Because of its runners, Kenyan runners are very famous. In 2010, won 126 out of 156 international marathons. Most of these champions were Kalinchi. Belongs to a famous clan. Scientists are yet to uncover this secret, trying to finally get into this clan. What is the most special thing in the world? The war will end soon in Africa too. The battle was fought for only 38 minutes. 27 August 18,960 between Times and Great Britain. A fight was fought, and it happened that on 25th August of Sultan Hamad bin Tony of 18,960 times, his own cousin Khalid died suddenly. Bin Bargas poisoned and killed Zanzibar. This new sultan sat down as the new sultan had the support of Germany, while the British wanted a new version of their choice. The British military became the sultan, gave an ultimatum to the new sultan that he vacate the throne of Zanzibar. By 9 a.m. Khalid bin Barkas of Great Britain refused to follow orders and took his 2,800 standing outside his palace on Fauji Island, given at 9 o'clock in the morning when the ultimatum ended. So the ships of the British Royal Navy came and saw. Tau rained bullets on the Sultan's palace, gave in 937 minutes, uprooted the palace flag in this battle that lasted for 38 minutes. 500 out of 2,800 Sultan's soldiers were killed. Only 1 sailor of the British Navy was injured. How is it possible that there are no pyramids? But do you know that 2 from Egypt, twice as many pyramids exist in Sudan? And this is also an African country according to estimates. There are more than 250 cases in Sudan. There are more pyramids while their size is quite as small. That is why it is popular among tourists. Not very famous. So much in Africa, if it is happening then obviously it is quite big too. But will it be so big on the world map? Why does it look small on this world map? Look at the African continent and then the USA. Look at this continent, African continent from American continent looks quite small, but in reality Africa, as it appears on maps, it's much bigger. Look at the numbers. If we go to Africa, then about 3 square kilometer is bigger if it appears on the map. If Africa is so big then, it must be American continent 4 or 5 square kilometers, maybe bigger. But in reality, America's the area is only 90 lakh square kilometers. Yes, 3 times smaller than Africa actually, the world map we use. This is a simplified version of what we mean, isn't it? That the real version and the correct map of the world exists, neither is it nor can it be made perfectly. Because our world is round and continents and their sizes on flat map, it is not possible to explain it properly. The example is of a tennis ball with tape on it. If we take off the tape, and if you try to keep it on a flat surface, somehow she will rise if we want to do it absolutely flat, then we can do this will stretch, so that it becomes absolutely straight it will happen, but now its area will change just like when the round world is in D map, if converted then closer to the poles continents larger than necessary. Due to stretch, these maps appear look at Greenland, how big it looks, but in reality, this is far from Africa and here, the country of Africa is smaller than Congo because it is very close to the equator, because this stretch is not on D map, but reality seems to shrink. It is so big that inside it there is a whole USA, China, India, and even Europe a lot of space can fit. While we are talking about geography, let's go a little deeper to find out. Let's try what Africa always. This is what it looks like today. Is there anyone like that? There was a time when Africa was completely different. It seemed that science experts said that every 50 of our meaning after millions of years tectonic plates, all continents join together so that one big it becomes a supercontinent for the last time. Supercontinent broke up 200 million years ago. What is today called Pangea was started. In this animation, you can see how a single supercontinent broke into separate, smaller science grains distributed across continents. The claim is also proved today because eastern shape of South America and Western Africa Pangea matches like a puzzle piece. To prove this theory of Mosasaurus in South America and Africa fossils have been found which show that these two continents which today cross the ocean are actually once the same, and in the Amazon rainforest in South America. There are many species found which also found in these forests of West Africa. You also go to this place in Africa, you will be able to see the area as green as that is South America, but what African? The continent will always be like this process of separation of continents. It has been going on for millions of years, until now going on. News started making rounds in 2018 that saw a huge crack in Africa. This crack has been done in Kenya, Ethiopia, and video footage seen in Tanzania. It was seen in drone shots that the entire a huge crack divided the countries. This crack has made me not see the road. Crops, houses, cities, some parts of it are up to 10 meters wide and some 2 millimeters. The thinner the clay, the more people spread it, started filling from then somewhere above it. People started building temporary bridge. I thought that maybe the soft soil was for some reason. She has sat down, but actually what the scientist says, that the African continent is divided into 2 parts. It was previously believed that Africa on the same tectonic plate stands, but in 1970 some such evidence was found, from which it was revealed that the African plate broke. Geologists have already been aware of this, but they did not know that this. If it happened so soon, then the question arises, is Africa really divided into 2 parts? Partition is taking place as it did millions of years ago. The answer to this was South America separated from it. No one has any doubt about it yet, not that the tectonic plate of East Africa, a large part of the Red Sea, has collapsed from to Mozambique, and this every year about 6 be away from the African continent by millimeters. It may also be possible that this complete, the part should separate and become an island, or then in between there will be a new ocean like the Red Sea. Should it be mentioned, or will this process happen here only? Wait, the scientist thinks that whatever this will also happen, it will take about 5 years whatever happens in future. Today, we will talk about this process. That means you can see the continental rift, and this is also an eyewitness for us. It can also be a reminder of those devastated places. The special thing is that it does not rust, and its melting point is also very high. Capacitors are made from this metal, which is present in every electronic devices nowadays are used. It is estimated that 80% reserves of this metal are in Africa only. Similarly, aluminum is found used in production. Bauxite is also found in Africa only. What's more, the world's most precious gemstone, most of the diamonds are found in Africa only. Mine is all natural in Africa, only a small part of the resources. If we talk about Africa, then let's talk about Sahara Desert. The topic doesn't end without doing this. There are so many secrets hidden inside Sahara itself that can single-handedly take on the whole of Africa. There is a structure present here which, seen from space, it is 40 kilometers big. This round mark, which is called Eye of Sahara, and Richard's structure, is also called what is below it. King Tutankhamun's necklace hides a secret unique stone which is found nowhere in the whole world. Couldn't find it. Found it only in the middle of the Sahara. What used to happen here before Sahara? And how did it get into such a big sea of sand? That too changed only in North Africa, while the rest of Africa is green, and along with all these specialties, it is tropical. Sahara is the reason why thousands of kilometers far away Amazon rainforest is green and full of life, is full of, but how all this, and you will be able to know a lot about the secrets of hopefully in the next episode of Africa. You guys will also enjoy this video. Will like and share your love. Thank you for your kind comments. See you soon in next great video.